We are beginning with the news regarding Wendy Williams because she has been diagnosed with progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. Her medical team made the announcement in a press release saying that she still is able to do many things for herself and maintains her sense of humor while receiving care. Now, these are, if you recognize the diagnosis, these are the same conditions that Bruce Willis was diagnosed with last year. And Wendy has been making headlines recently for a new Lifetime documentary about her called Where is Wendy Williams? It was filmed between August of 2022 through April of last year. Okay, so a lot of people have been making unfair assumptions about Wendy Williams' drug and alcohol abuse leading to her recent behavior. Do you think that this might shine a light on a possible additional or other cause?
I don't know, Sam, because a lot of her career, the bulk of how she made her name was being controversial and saying things to get people to listen. When people tune into Ryan Seacrest, they expect a certain kind of show. And they get it. Ryan Seacrest is a consummate professional. When they tuned into Wendy Williams, they wanted something else, and she gave it to them. And now, as she's in decline, there are going to be some people that she said some things about that weren't toward, that they didn't appreciate. And I don't think that they're feeling very sorry for her. And so I think it's a weird dichotomy to look at her as a human being. Of course, we empathize and hope that she gets better, but you also have to look at the other person, the person who's at the brunt of those jokes, at the brunt of all of the stuff that she would spew that almost became fact. So she's a very interesting person, and I'm hoping that the documentary doesn't lean any kind of way, but just shows her as a fascinating, complicated person she was.
Still is. Yeah. Just really quickly, I'm studying and working on empathy a lot right now. It is very difficult to give empathy when you feel hurt by someone else. And that's something that she did to a lot of people in pop culture. That was her role, to take you down. She was the Perez Hiltons, the tabloids on steroids. I mean, she would just stare at the camera with nothing else on stage and just talk down to people and talk rumors that weren't always true. So I can understand that feeling of tension, of wanting to feel empathy, but feeling anger too. My mom had aphasia. It's a terrible thing because she's trying to communicate. It's there in her head, but her brain won't make the word come out. It's really frustrating. So I have empathy, but I also understand the tension. I just wonder if you could do these shows now.
No way.
I don't know.
And that's why I kind of give Wendy Williams, I don't want to give her a pass.
Right, but it was the time.
Howard Stern was doing it. She was doing it. Andy Cohen, Perez Hilton. It was part of a weird fascination of culture where you drink the tea and you gossip and people giggle along at the expense of other people. I'm not saying that's right, but that was
the culture.
That was the culture.
That was kind of the culture. What are your feelings of all of this?
Yeah, that was kind of my whole point. Can she do it now? I think it explains some of her actions towards the end of her career when they were still, is she going to come back or not? There was some confusion and some weirdness.
She fainted, I believe.
Yeah, I think this explains a lot of that. But earlier in her career, when she was in the prime, right, she made a name for herself. And I'm just going to repeat the names you said. The Howard Sterns, right? The shock jocks. People, listen, we always want to go back and correct culture, except the same people going back to correct it were the same people that were clamoring for it in the time. Oh my God, I can't wait to get on Perez Hilton. I can't wait to watch Wendy Williams and see the dirt. Now all of a sudden your life is perfect and now you want to cancel people for what they said in the time that you were allowed to say it. I kind of want to bring back some more of that. Not all of it. And did we correct things that were incorrect or needed correction? Absolutely. We cleaned out a lot of things. We've adjusted as a society to a lot of things. We've also went too far. And I think the way we just fall all over celebrities and don't correct anybody and don't question them on the red carpet and everything's applause. God forbid you say something about Beyonce's new song or her in general. I can't. I don't know. I can't do that. And I'm on television. I better not. I'm scared. I just said that now. People are looking. You can't. You can't. But I need a little bit of that in my life. I need a bit what are you doing? That's wrong. You look ridiculous. Why did you wear that?
Right. Yeah.
The Joan Rivers. We're missing that.
Joan Rivers.
We're missing that. But guess what? On podcasts and other outlets, they're doing that. And they're starting to attract more attention than the television shows covering it because people are over the fluff and the BS. Yeah. They want to hear the realness of it. And I think podcasts cover that well because you're allowed to say what you want. Here, I might be canceled because
No,
of what I
you're
might have said
fine
about
here.
Beyonce.
But no, you're right about the
Beyonce
audience,
crowd is
right?
storming,
The broadcast audience, and even I would say the radio audience. Even though Howard Stern will be on for 4 hours, you can hear a long form of it. We are in such a clickbait culture where we'll grab one little headline and then you post it. And yes, it's not in alignment with where we are in 2024, but it does feel like. Do you think that we've swung too far?
I mean, we swing. We always talk about this pendulum. We talk about society like almost like it matters. It doesn't.
It does.
Why do you say it doesn't?
Because the only thing that matters is the advertisers. If you got one listener to your podcast, Jeff, but Nabisco is willing to pay you $5 million to put an ad on, how many listeners does it take?
But Nabisco wouldn't offer him if he didn't have the listeners.
But I'm saying, no, there are podcasts that talk about very racist things and whatever, and they have huge audiences, and they can't get sponsors because they don't want their name next to it. In a weird way, we penalize society, and we penalize woke people or this. Nothing matters except if advertisers will show up and put their logo next to your podcast name. If they'll do that, people have tried to come for Joe Rogan. How's he doing?
But
he's signing another deal.
He's above that.
He's reached a level that is above that.
Yeah, he's reached a level. I'm just saying, if you have something in your past that's checkered in some sort of way and you're on your way up, they'll smush it back down. If you're past that where they can't reach you to step on, then you're in the clear. Then you could do whatever and say whatever you want. You could call Beyonce whatever you want, because then you have your listeners and your advertisers. If you're on your way up and you have something in your past that it's 10, 15, 20 years ago, myself, you don't get those opportunities. Those are gone.
What you're just describing is
Final thought
leverage
quickly.
in business.
Is
Just
what?
leverage.
Sorry.
Leverage. That's what he's talking about.
Got it. Okay, good conversation.